Hey, friend. Welcome to Purpose Unlocked, the space where dreamers, doers, and changemakers like you come to build legacies that truly matter. I'm Christy Smith, your anti cookie cutter coach, sustainable legacy builder, and author of The Intuitive Entrepreneur. Here to help you build a business that doesn't just look good on paper, but feels good in your bones. If you've ever felt that quiet pull for more purpose, more freedom, more impact, you're in the right place. Every week, we'll have real, unfiltered conversations about what it takes to build a purpose driven business and a life that actually feels good. You'll hear stories, strategies, and mindset shifts from visionaries who are redefining success their own way, authentically, intentionally, and unapologetically. Because this isn't just about growing a business, it's about creating a legacy that lasts. So take a breath, grab your coffee, and let's unlock your purpose together. So, welcome back. Today, we're taking on rule number 12, no playing small. And this is a rule from my Rebel Rules. If you are part of my Rebels Almanac, you'll have seen those posted. I had them on my website. I can't remember if I took it off or not. But anyways, these are just rules that I have for my business, and I share them with you to see if they maybe will fit with your business. So legacy, in the no playing small, let's just say legacy doesn't come from shrinking. It comes from being willing to be fully seen, right? So that's what we're going to focus on today. And I'm going to start with a story about Jordan. Love working with Jordan. She is an intuitive strategist, right? She has that kind of mind that can see patterns before anyone else even realized that there was a pattern in there, right? Like she's one of those brilliant people, right? She has fire and instinct and a way of reading people that's almost psychic. That's how I would classify her. But despite all of that brilliance that I've just told you about, she's amazing. You would love her. She spent years quietly shrinking herself. She's that person that would sit in meetings and offer only half an idea of what she wanted to say, right? She'd write content, then she would go back and she would edit it and she would delete out the lines that were actually the interesting part of the story. She's a person who would soften her boldest recommendations because she didn't want to be seen as that person, right? The one who ruffles feathers or challenges the comfortable status quo. She's constantly worried that her ideas were too much, her passion was too intense, and she was worried that if she let her full voice out, people would misunderstand her, or worse, they would walk away. Right? So she's all this anxiety about it, and so she's that person who dilutes herself. And it's not because she wasn't confident in her knowledge and her skills. It was because she was conditioned to fit into spaces that didn't know how to hold her, right? Are you one of those people? Do you know one of those people? You all know one of those people because I know that I'm one of those people, right? I have fit into spaces for years in a conditioned format just because nobody knew what to do with me, right? So that's one thing that Jordan and I have in common. So maybe you and I have that in common as well, right? And for Jordan, everything changed with one moment, right? She was wrapping up a strategy call with one of her clients, and that client looked at her, not in an unkind way, but with that, like, clarity, right? That cuts through all the noise. And Jordan's client said to her, I didn't hire you to be quiet, right? And for Jordan, that sentence was a door swinging open, right? So for her, it was that aha moment, right? It clicked, everything shifted, and it allowed her to remember who she actually is, right? So I'm so thankful to Jordan's client for that. Because that day forward, Jordan got to be herself. Her content got sharper in a way that makes people stop mid scroll and reread it. Her offers got bolder, not bigger, just her, right? There's a difference in that bolderness, right? Like being bold. Her voice got louder, not in volume, but in presence, in certainty, and in truth, right? And for Jordan, like she and I've talked about it often, but the wild part for her was that within 6 months, she had filled her mastermind purely by showing up in her full self, right? No filters, no gimmicks, no scarcity tactics, just resonance. Because people weren't drawn to her when she had played it safe. They were drawn to her because she finally let them see who she was, right? And so she was super excited about that. Love her. We still work together. We still keep in touch. And so I want you to hear the lesson that comes from Jordan's story. Because for you, your legacy is built on the parts of you that feel too much, right? Those edges that you're tempted to smooth out, those truths you're scared to say too loudly or too boldly, those visions that feel bigger than your current container, all of that, they're not your weaknesses. And don't let anybody tell you that they are, because those things right there, that is the whole point of what you're building. That's the whole point of your legacy. That's the whole point of your purpose. Okay. So let's go to our reflection questions. Again, if you're driving, don't try to write these down. That's why there's pause buttons. Think about them. When you're not driving, you can come back to them. You can journal about them. You can go on a nature walk. However you do reflection questions, right? Make sure it's the way that you feel best and it's honoring your process. So I have 3 of them for you today. And number 1 is, where am I shrinking to make others comfortable? And you guys, honestly, most of us do it in ways that we don't even notice. So it could be like you walk in, you're having a conversation with somebody, and you modify your sentence, right? To make it be quote unquote nicer to that person. There's nothing unnice about what your original sentence was going to be, but you've just modified it a little bit, just to make the other person a little bit more comfortable, right? Maybe it's something that you wrote. Maybe it's a pitch that you have, right? And you just change it just slightly. You really want to say something else. You say the thing, right? So where are you shrinking to make others comfortable? Number 2 is, what truth have I been softening that's ready to be spoken boldly? I'll rephrase this for you. Maybe this will hit you a little bit differently, but what would happen if you said that thing and you said it without apology? And that's the key right there, you guys. Sometimes you'll hear yourself saying it and you be like, I don't really want to upset you. I don't want to offend you. You start with that apology. You start with the coachingness of it, right? And that means you're softening it for them. What would happen if you didn't say that? What would happen if you didn't coach them and you just said the thing? What's that truth that you want to be out there? Number 3, what's the message only you can say this way? Right? That thing that's been circling around, maybe you haven't named it yet. Only you can say it the way that you can say it. Right? And think about it when I'm doing the talking to you or you read something that I write and you're like, well, I would say it this way. Perfect. That's awesome. I say it the way that I say it because that's where my truth lies. Maybe you can say it a little bit differently and it will land with the people that you want to work with. Like it's not like I hold the whole entire legacy thing here, right? I'm not the only person talking about it. So what is that message that only you can say in the way that you can say it? Like, even if you were to give me your script, you guys, like, hey, I wrote this out. Even if I said the exact same words that you're going to say, I'm not going to say it with the same level of passion, of commitment, of caring, of depth as what you would say it, right? Only you can say it that way. What is that message? All right, and our action step. I want you to write a piece of content today that scares you just enough, right? That kind that makes your stomach flip just a little bit. You get that little tingle in you because it's real. It's honest. It's unmistakably you, right? You got to write it from your real voice because that's where the voice of your legacy is, right? That's what it's built on. So write that content. Now, I'm not going to make you post it. I'm not going to make you share it, obviously. I am going to encourage you that once you have written that piece of content, to share it, to post it, however, whatever content that is, right? But your action step is only that you write it, okay? Because it's getting used to you writing from that voice. And we talk about rituals, we talk about habits, we talk about doing, I guess when I was in softball or any sport actually, but you practice as you play, right? You have to get in that practice of writing and that habit and that ritual of writing from that voice. That's why I'm saying you don't have to post today's, but get in the practice, get in that habit of writing from that voice. Okay. And you guys can always share it with me. Like, email me, message me on social, whatever it takes. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your voice. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Purpose Unlocked. I'm so glad that you're here. Every time you press play, you're choosing to invest in your growth, your purpose, and the legacy you're meant to create. That matters. If something in today's episode resonated, take a moment to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because when one of us rises, we all rise. And if you haven't already, hit follow, leave a review, or share your biggest takeaway on social. I love hearing what's landing for you. Remember, you weren't made, you were not made, making sure I enunciate that correctly. You weren't made to blend in. You're made to lead, to create, and to build something that lasts. So take what you've learned today, trust your intuition, and go make bold moves towards your purpose. I'm Christy Smith, your anti-cookie cutter coach and sustainable legacy builder, reminding you that your dream isn't just possible, it's waiting for you to claim it. Let's keep unlocking purpose together.